This is a video response to wgmkk. Basically, what this individual's argument against same-sex marriage, marriage equality is you can't have kids, and that marriage was designed to promote childbearing. The thing is that, yes, I can. You know? My uterus still works, and the uteruses of, well, quite a few other lesbians out in the world, they work. They do. The thing is that for gay couples, it's not as easy. We cannot accidentally have children. And that if I found a wife, and we got married, and, well, even though it wouldn't be legal here in Ohio, like if we ran off to New York, or if we drew up the legal documents and ran off to New York and we became a long-term monogamous couple, or a long-term couple, and we waited, and we both got our career settled, and maybe she finished her education, or maybe I went on and got more education, finished my education, and we decided we want to raise a family. We couldn't just jump in bed and swap some DNA and 9 months later our child is born, after one night of passion, like heterosexuals can. What me and my wife, my partner, would end up doing is, well, number one, we'd sit down and we'd say, financially, can we do this? Is this viable? And we look at our finances and maybe move some things around, maybe make some different plans. Number two, the logistics of it, simply. In vitro fertilization, sperm donation, or adoption. Because adoption is legitimate. I mean, there are how many hundreds of thousands of children out there waiting for a family, a permanent family? And, I mean, yeah, we cannot accidentally have children of our own, but we could adopt a child and raise that child with two committed, consenting, caring adults, so that child has access to two sets of resources, which actually that's what the studies have shown to be the best situation for raising a child. It doesn't matter the sex of the parents. It matters that they have two adults in their life who are committed to them, who are consenting to it, and who are providing them with their resources. Financial, educational, time, whatnot. That commitment and that commitment of resources to that child is what really matters when it comes to raising and development of a good child. So, me and my wife sit down and we find that it is financially plausible that we'll be able to raise that child in a financially stable home, and that our relationship between each other is strong enough and stable enough so that we are going to stay together for the rest of that child's life. Which obviously you can't plan out into the future too much, but our relationship's stable enough, we are financially stable enough, and so that we can provide for that child here and now, but also for their future, like their college education, and that we make all those plans needed. And either through sperm donation, in vitro fertilization, or adoption, we have a kid. And as for gay male couples, adoption or surrogacy, where they pay, or they say, okay, we are going to adopt, where they either pay an individual or they make some kind of a legal arrangement for either one or both of their sperm to be used. It is possible for gays to have children. We just can't have them accidentally. So, I mean, that one argument basically makes your argument fall on its face. But beyond that, if marriage was really meant for procreation, what about sterile couples? What about couples who just decide not to? My godparents are a couple who, when they were discussing marriage and so forth, they decided that neither one of them wanted to have kids. And honestly, my godparents are not the type of people who should have kids. Now, yeah, raising a teenager later on, helping me learn the wonderful summers I spent with them, that was good for them. They enjoyed it, and that was the right situation for them. but they were not the kind of people who want to have kids. And they acknowledged that. And so, yes, they are legally married, but by your definition, does that make their marriage null and void? Or should they not have gotten married to begin with? What about a couple where they are in a horrible accident? Or one of them's in a horrible accident and they're rendered sterile. Should they not be married? And if marriage is strictly for procreation, so does that mean an older couple where their last child has grown up, reached the age of 18, should their marriage become null and void? Because if marriage is for promotion of procreation and that couple has no intention to procreate anymore, should their marriage be null and void? Your argument falls flat on its face because it's not incorporating, oh yeah, gays can have kids, we just can't have them accidentally. Number two, well, what about those heterosexual couples who don't have any children? And, well, number three, what about those retired couples or those older couples who don't have kids because they've grown up? Now you might say, yeah, well, these laws were created 100 and something years ago before in vitro fertilization existed or before sperm donation existed. Well, have you ever heard of the phrase, think of England? It would have been an option. Of course, then again, two women living on their own was not very common back then. A single woman living on her own was very uncommon. So, you're not taking into account cultural context, as well as how our laws progressed. I'm a consenting adult citizen. I've had the right to vote for over 100 years. 100 years ago, I don't have a swinger between my legs, so I couldn't vote. The world has changed, and we need to adapt and reinterpret our laws to go along with that. I mean, what was it? About 50 years ago? Well, less than that. The court case of Loving v. Virginia finally struck down all the laws preventing interracial couples from getting married. Before then, people were making similar arguments to yourself. Or similar arguments of, well, that's not good, that's not right, God, whatever, it's not right for interracial couples to marry. Mrs. Loving herself said that it's unfair, it's unjust to keep a same-sex couple, two consenting committed adults, from getting married. So this is going to be my final reply to you. Take it as you will. Feel free to leave any comments. This is your video, so just as any other video who I've dedicated to different people, I don't consider you a troll. I mean, you've been nice, relatively. And you've made your points somewhat respectfully. Yeah, this is your video. Feel free to leave whatever comments you want on it. And that is my rebuttal to your comments. Peace out.